Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at advertising for your books, specifically looking at Amazon ads. Okay, so today we're going to be creating ads for this book. It is my Out of This World Aliens colouring book. This is what your dashboard looks like. This is where all the campaigns are listed and your results appear across the top. Here we're looking at Amazon ads for the US. And this is the past 2 months for my books. Along the top, you can see the clicks, how much you've spent, how many orders you've had, the sales, and the ACOS. For those of you not familiar with ACOS, it is the advertising costs of sales. So if you spent $10 to get a sale and your sale was $10, your ACOS would be 100%. However, what the ACOS does and the sales on this is it doesn't account for Amazon's fee. So looking here, I've spent $171 on ads and I've made $517 in sales, and you might be thinking, oh my God, that's amazing. You know, you've made $340, $50, but it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And that's why the ACOS is really important. Most books, you will have an ACOS of, between 10 and 40% in terms of like where the profitability lies, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But for now, let's look at how my campaigns are performing. So down here, we've got some dinosaur colouring book categories, some robots, some wrestling, some cats, some love hearts, and you can see the performance along the bottom right hand side. The robot dinosaur keywords, for example, I've had 75 clicks and only 2 orders, which means that I am spending around $8.75 for a single sale, which is not right for me. So that ACOS is 97%, and that's far too high. Whereas if we look at the wrestling colouring book, I've received 5 sales from 39 clicks and only spent $10.54. So that's costing me around $2.11 to sell a book, which is very profitable for me. And then these dinosaur ones up here, an ACOS of around 30%, that's about break even. But we want to show you how to create your own ads. I've created a new portfolio here, which you can do on the left-hand side, and that helps keeps your campaigns nice and neat. And so if you sold colouring books, activity books, fiction, non-fiction, my advice would be to create a portfolio for each of them, and then you can easily see how each one is performing. And then you can just click filter by, go to the bottom. It's not on here, but here we go. Filter by, portfolio. And then there we go. First things first, you click create a campaign. On here, you've got 3 different types of ads that you can create: sponsored products, sponsored brands, and lock screen ads. Lock screen ads are the ones that appear on Kindle and similar devices when it's on the lock screen. These tend to not perform very well, especially for printed books. It's Kindle, they work better for ebooks. And even when I've done ebook lock screen ads, they've not been profitable. So I would suggest, if you're going to trial that, start very small and utilize an ebook rather than a printed book. Sponsored brands are for people who have got more than one book in a certain niche. For example, say you were a huge wrestling fan and you had a series of books around wrestling. You might then want to create a brand for your wrestling, and you basically can add multiple books in the same ad unit, and then they can be quite rich and engaging, but you need to have similar books in a similar niche and keep it quite tight in that way. So there are those 2 that we won't focus on today. Today we're going to focus mostly on sponsored products. So sponsored products is essentially, you're advertising a single book. You've got lots of different options within here, and there are basically 3 types of targeting that we can do. And we can either do a custom ad text where you get to create your own creative and it kind of shows in a little box with some supporting copy, or you can just do a standard ad. My advice would be to test both. And if you're doing a custom ad text and it's not converting very well, turn it off and create a new one with some different ad text. So you need some good, hard-working sales text really for the custom text ads, whereas the standard ads, they literally just show the title of your book and the cover. So we'll start with a custom text ad to start with. Here we go. So you can search by your book title or ACE in there to find your book. You click the add button and there's the product. Then we scroll down to targeting. Automatic targeting will do automatic ads for you. That might be a good place to start at when you're trying to see what works for your books. But today we're going to focus on manual targeting because you've got a lot more control. You can analyze what's working and basically it gives you control to set your ads. Click on manual targeting, and then you've either got keyword targeting, which is the kind of search bar and the keywords that people are searching for, or the product targeting, where you can basically target two different areas. You can target categories or different books. We're going to start with keyword targeting for this book. Okay, so this is what a keyword ad looks like. You have your search term here, and this book here is appearing for this search term for some reason. Alien colouring book for adults. And there we go. When you come down to the keyword targeting, you've got some suggested keywords in there, which are good to start with. But then you can also enter a list or upload a file. So if you've got some data available on search terms for your book, you might want to upload a file. But we are going to start with entering a list. The first and most important thing with ads is to make sure that your bid is correct. Because believe me, I've set my bid to $30 a click before and had 2 clicks and spent $60 in the space of, I don't know, a few minutes. So you need to make sure that your bid is correct. Don't use suggested bid is my suggestion. I would click on default bid and you can see there at 75 cents. For this book, we are going to start with, you can test your own strategies, but I'm going to start with 41 cents. And on custom bid, I'm also going to change that to 41 cents. I like to change both just in case something goes wrong and it kind of flicks between custom and default. I'm going to go with 41 cent custom bid. These are the match types for the keywords. Broad is essentially, so say if you put alien colouring book, broad would be anything involving those 3 words. Phrase would be a search string that involved those 3 words as a phrase, and exact would be results that are only for that. So basically exact gives you a lot of control. Phrase means that those 3 words have to appear in the right order. And broad is, say, if you have quite generic keywords and you just want to target a wider audience. I quite like to use the phrase because then if someone searches for alien colouring book, but then they say for teens, for adults, for a guy, for a girl, that will appear. We're on phrase and then we're on alien colouring book. And as you type things in, you can see here, Amazon brings up suggestions as well. So I'm going to click add all keywords in this list and get rid of the ones which aren't applicable. So for me, this book is not for kids aged 4 to 8, so I'll delete those. Don't know what that is, but that's a good starting point. I'm also then going to look at what Amazon suggests for alien colouring book for adults. There we go, another one there. And my suggestion would be to do some keyword research, find a decent amount of keywords for in here to then add. When you're happy with your keywords, you click add keywords, and then they come across here at your suggested bid, at the bid that you set. And then the suggested bid is here, which is kind of what Amazon is saying other people are paying, and their suggestion would be to pay this much to rank for these keywords. Personally, I say ignore these because if you're paying 94 cents to have your book appear for that search term, you're not going to be able to be profitable paying 94 cents per click. So I would say 41 cents is a decent, not too high, not too low value for me. If you take it down to sort of 20-25 cents, unless you're in a super small, non-competitive niche, you're probably not going to rank at all. And then if you go too high, like $1, you'll rank, but you're going to spend too much money. So it's all about finding the sweet spot. And you can come back and adjust these at any point. Negative keyword targeting is useful, especially if you're doing things like ebooks. A lot of people are kind of freebie hunters with Kindle books. So I might put the word free in there so that people aren't searching for free ebook, free colouring book, etc. Because I don't want those people to pay when they click on my ads if they're expecting a free product. But for this one, the way that it could work for colouring books is, say this was specifically designed for adults, I could put the word kids in there. That would mean that whenever anyone searched Alien colouring book for kids, my searches, this wouldn't turn up in the searches. But for now, we'll leave that as it is. Here's your kind of creative preview, and we're going to come up with some custom text for this ad. Okay, so this is probably a little bit too long, but it's my first go, and this will kind of do for now. I like to include a hook at the beginning that's quite interesting. So I've kind of done a play on Aliens here by saying, in space, nobody can hear you scream or see you colour. And then I go on to say, with 40 incredible illustrations, this colouring book is a must for Alien fans, young and old. So you might want to tweak that, make it shorter, slightly shorter sentences maybe, add a bit more of a call to action, but I don't think that's too bad. And that's your preview of your ad. Then you go to the campaign bidding strategy. If you click up and down, which is what it defaults at, Amazon can charge you up to 100% in addition of your bid. So if we scroll up to the bid, 41 cents, that means Amazon could charge us up to 82 cents, which we don't want. So for now, I will click this as down only, meaning that the maximum Amazon will charge me for a click is 41 cents. And that tends to be the option that I always choose. There are some other options like fixed bids. So if you want to know exactly what you're bidding, this can be useful to get, if you want to be really aggressive with your targeting and you're happy to spend exactly 41 cents for every book, you might outrank others that are doing 41 cents down bidding because they might, they know you're going to pay 41 cents for it. I would say the best thing to do is down only for now, but if you have a book that converts really well and you want to be aggressive with the selling, especially at, when you've just released it, fixed bids is a useful option as well, as is up and down. I just personally don't like the lack of control over that 100% raising. There's another option here where you can increase your bid by placement. So for example, the top of search on the first page. So as soon as you write Amazon Alien colouring book, the first search result right at the top, that's what this placement is. So that's a super powerful position. So I might say, right, I'll pay 10% extra for that. So a 41 bid will be 45 cents for that placement. Then you want to go and name your campaign. I would suggest something that makes sense, plus the type of ad it is. So this is a keyword ad, so I'd put KW. I would also recommend researching what your profit to ACOS is. So I'll go into that in a second and I'll come back. To figure out what your profitability is with your ads, you need to divide what your royalty is. So for me, it's $3.24 by your book's price, which is $8.99. Times it by 100, and my profitability with my ACOS is 36%. So my suggestion, just to keep an easy track of it, is to go into here and put 36%. Oh, I won't put the percentage, but I'll put something like this to make it easy. So ACOS 36. I don't know necessarily if there's any science with end dates, but you want to put at least a few months on there. You could put no end date, but I'm going to do end of July. That gives a good few months. And then it says here, most advertisers start with a daily budget of at least $10. As long as you aren't being too aggressive with your bids, you don't really need to worry about that. I could put that to 1,000 if I wanted, and it is probably still going to only spend $1 or $2 a day. For now, I'll put $10 and then click launch campaign. There we go. So our Alien colouring book keyword ad is gone to review for Amazon, and that should be live within a few minutes. Okay, and here we go. The Alien Colouring Book keyword ad is in review. It says here ads are not delivering, so hopefully that will change in a few minutes or a couple of hours. But for now, we're going to create a different type of ad. So we go back to create campaign. It's still a sponsored products ad, but we're going to create a category ad now. And just to mix it up, we're going to do a standard ad text. Okay, so this is what the categories search will look like. So if you're the type of person who likes to go in and look by department, you might go in and be like, right, I want to see the colouring books for grown-ups. In which case, this is the type of page that appears. You have your hot new releases, your most gifted, your most wished for, etc. But if we go in a little further, maybe we go on animals, you will have ads here, for example. So we add our Alien Colouring Book as normal. We click manual targeting, but instead of keyword this time, we're going to do product targeting. Sometimes it will bring up relevant categories, but we are going to look for our own. So I'm going to go a little bit cheaper this time with the bidding. I find that keywords tend to be more expensive than products, which is why products can be quite a good lucrative way of finding readers. Just the clicks to purchases tends to be, takes a few more clicks to purchases generally. We have set our default bid and our custom bid, and then we are going to search for colouring books. And here you can see we have 19 categories. So you need to find the right categories. You can add all if you want to and test what works, but I would recommend going for the best place for your books. You basically want to be where people are searching for your book. So colouring books for grown-ups is right for mine. Even though this is the Kindle store, I will still try it to see if it delivers. Adult colouring books. Animal colouring books I could test, but I'm not going to. You can see here again the suggested bid. So colouring books for children is quite competitive with a 55-cent suggested bid, whereas the adult one that I've added is a suggested bid of 37. So hopefully the bids will be cheaper within the adult colouring books. Scrolling down, we've got fashion, humour, comic, science and anatomy, mandalas, flowers and landscape, cities, cartooning, hair colour, fantasy and science fiction. That sounds like a fantastic placement for this one. So I've got my 3 categories here. This one suggesting I could take my bid down even, but for now I'll leave it at 36. Make sure that we're doing down only and name this again. This one is a category ad, so I'll put cat, and then our ACOS is the same as before. Make sure to add your portfolio, which I didn't do last time, and I'm going to put the same end date. And there we go. And that is your category ads. So we are going to do our final ad, which is a sponsored products ad. We will do a custom text ad again for this one, but again, you could do either and test what works. We select our book again, click manual targeting, go to product targeting again. So keywords only got one option basically, which is your keyword search, but product targeting, you've got a few different variations. We set up our category ad, and now we're going to do product features. This is the page for my colouring book. And as you scroll down, you have products related to this item and you have a sponsored button here. So all of these books are sponsored product ads that are targeting my book. Here within product targeting, this is what we've just done, the categories, but we're going to target individual products now. I'm going to take my bid down a little further for this one, probably down to, let's say 26 cents. Again, find out, test your bids. I tend to do an extra cent over the rounded figure because I just think it's human nature to kind of put 30 or 25. And so I just think if I go 1 extra cent, maybe it just helps me beat another competitor. Who knows if it works? That's just kind of how I do it. Okay, so we can go into the search bar here and type something a little bit closer to what we're doing. So Alien Colouring Book for adults. Let's try that. You can filter by exact or expanded. So if you see here, exact is targeting a single product. That gives you control to only target this one single book, for example. Whereas expanded uses a bit of AI, I would imagine, through Amazon. So that would target that single product along with others closely related to it. This can include substitutes, complements, and other products shoppers engage with. If you want complete control, go exact. But if you want to reach more people with slightly less control and slightly less niche down targeting, use expanded. For now, I will use expanded. So I'm going to go through these search results and click the ones that look close to my book. So we've got aliens, UFO, etc. And when you're targeting, what you want to try and do is mostly target the ones that have good reviews and a lot of reviews, because they're generally getting the most purchases and the most eyes on them. So this one, for example, Alien, the colouring book, I would imagine that's the official Alien colouring book. That would be perfect for us to target. And we're going to search again, Aliens colouring book, and see if there's any other ones on here. Another one there. And yeah, so this can take a little bit of time. There are ways to create lists by like crawling Amazon, for example, but this is the easiest way to do this to start with. I have my pretty targeted results here. I've only got 12. Normally I'd have more than that, but I've got 12 at the moment. That'll do for this one. I'm going to put my custom text in here, which is going to be a little bit shorter this time. So I've not got that hook at the beginning this time, but I've still got something interesting there. I've put transport yourself to another world with 40 incredible alien illustrations. And then I've added a bit more of a call to action at the end, a great way to relax and unwind. So I think that's a little bit stronger than the other ad copy, but again, you can create multiple versions and test. We're going to go to our down only bidding style and we're going to name it again. And this time it's a product ad and the ACOS remains the same. Select your portfolio and your end date. Select your budget and click launch. Okay, so here we have it. Here are your 3 different types of ads on Amazon. You've got your keyword ad, you've got your category ad, and you have your product ad. You're pretty much touching all of the bases here. My recommendation would be to do all 3 types of ad for every book if you have the time and if you're happy to manage all of your ads, because this way you're going to reach the most people possible. And what you can do is, as these start serving and getting clicks, if anything's not profitable, you can kind of remove certain products, certain keywords, or scale it back and reduce the bid on certain things. And again, if, for example, on a certain keyword, this alien colouring book is selling amazingly well, so maybe every 3 or 4 clicks it's selling, I could then afford to increase my bid on that one search term and reach more people and get more sales. So yeah, that's what the Amazon dashboard looks like within Amazon Ads. And these are the 3 types of ads that you should be creating. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully this video was useful for you, and hopefully now you're not going to be put off and scared about making Amazon ads, because once you learn it, there's not that much to it. It's just a case of putting in that manual effort, creating the different types of ads, seeing what works for you, and basically scaling back or dialing up what is not and what is working. When I come back in a week's time, hopefully I would have sold some of these books. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.